For 3 San Antonio police officers is set to resume on Monday morning, and so far jurors have heard what a former San Antonio police officer told investigators hours after he and 2 other former officers shot and killed a woman. Alfred Flores was a lead officer on the scene the night Melissa Pettis was shot and killed in her apartment back in 2023. Yesterday, Detective Deanna Platt was on the witness stand, so she took down Flores' written statement the morning after the shooting. In his statement, Detective Platt says that he never asked for additional resources like the SAPD mental health unit on the night of the shooting.
Did he say that he considered asking for officers from the mental health unit?
No, he didn't.
Same objection, Judge. She doesn't.
Did he say in his statement that he considered calling for SWAT?
No, he didn't. Well, if found guilty, all 3 officers face up to life in prison. We are live streaming this trial, gavel to gavel, so it's going to resume again on Monday. You can watch it on all of our streaming platforms. Governor Greg Abbott is in town right now, and in just a few minutes, he is set to deliver the keynote address at the Texas Federation of Republican Women Awards Luncheon. The event will be held at San Antonio's Grand Hyatt, and the governor's remarks are set to start at 12:45 today. So we're going to live stream that on all of our digital platforms, including KSAT Plus and KSAT.com. Well, the race for the Texas Senate is heating up for Republicans and Democrats, and a former San Antonio school teacher is aiming for one of Texas's highest offices. So James Tallarico, who once taught on the city's west side, is running for U.S. Senate. The Texas state rep is currently on the campaign trail and taking an unconventional approach, appearing on platforms and outlets that don't typically feature Democrats.
Seen over the past 30 years of Republican rule in Texas. My party oftentimes talks about turning Texas blue. The Republicans talk about keeping Texas red. I think the best color for Texas is purple. I think she would look great in purple because when you have competitive elections, all politicians have to stay on their toes. They've got to appeal to everyone in the community, not just their extreme base.
So for the full interview, you can go over to our website at KSAT.com, or you can scan that QR code there on the corner of your screen. In the primary, Tallarico is running against former Congressman Colin Allred. We are working on putting together our sit-down with him later this evening.
Taking a look outside with live cam, the last few days we haven't really seen any rain in San Antonio, but for the pollen count, molds the last few days have been sitting at moderate levels. Today it's sitting low, but I do expect molds to slightly increase as we get towards the weekend, especially because there's the chance of rain, which could have an impact, especially for Muertos Fest starting today, especially if you're setting up all the altars. We're watching that chance of rain. A 70% chance of rain tonight into tomorrow morning. Some storms can redevelop Saturday evening and even into the overnight hours. I'll give you a future cast of what you need to know for the weekend coming up after the break.
The countdown is on now for that rain we've been talking about.
I know. I was going to wear Halloween earrings you normally do, but we have weather to talk about. Yes. So I'm wearing my weather earrings. I have little lightning bolts on.
I like them.
And it's been 47 days.
Wow.
Since we've had substantial amount of rain in San Antonio. The last time we saw rain was going back into August. Now we did see a little bit in September, but it was only 1/100 of an inch. So really it's been 47 days, and the rain that we're expecting is still near the 4 corners. Take a look at the graphics. As our next system continues to get closer and closer, the main center of low pressure is still just near the 4 corners, but we're already starting to see some of the showers and even some thunderstorms go into areas of Marfa, even in Fort Stockton. And as I zoom in, we already have some severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for some areas as we go into Fort Stockton. But for us, we're already starting to see a few showers possible as we're headed throughout the next few hours. Take a look at the radar. We have some rain already in Kennedy, but what we're also watching is the chance of more rain as we head throughout the next few hours. Now, in the afternoon, any of the rain we're currently seeing just near the coastal plains isn't expected to be a lot. It's just going to be a few showers being possible. But what we're watching is yet another chance for more showers as we head throughout the next few hours. It's going to try to do one thing with our graphics, but instead I'll just have to go back to the good old regular graphics. So as we head throughout the next few hours, what we're watching is that chance for the low pressure system to get closer to San Antonio. That's going to give us the chance of some thunderstorms tonight and really into tomorrow. The main center of low isn't getting close to San Antonio, but the storms and that cool front associated with it will continue to start to drop it. Now, most of the football games should be okay. I know a lot of the school districts are starting the football games earlier, but most of them should be okay. Most of the storms just to the west of us near the hill country are expected to start at about 10 p.m. So some folks over there might start to see some rain, but for us in San Antonio, we're really not going to get it until about maybe midnight at the earliest. But really about 2 a.m. for San Antonio and Bexar County is when that front continues to push through. Now with the storms, it is going to be an overnight, so you might wake up to a few rumbles of thunder or even that heavy downpour at times. Still at 6 a.m. and throughout the morning hours, the rain, the initial band pushes through, should be gone by about 9 a.m. So then we can start to really get a better idea of rainfall totals. If you do have any, or if you have any pictures, send them to KSAT Connect. And about 9 to 10 a.m. through about 3 p.m. is going to be that time where you can go out, get any of your outdoor activities done before we have another chance of more showers being possible in the evening. There is going to be some excess instability in the atmosphere. So what we're watching Saturday is for any of these showers that could produce some hail, some gusty winds, and even that chance for more additional rainfall. The good news is it's going to be a lot more scattered and not as widespread as what we're seeing tonight into tomorrow. And most of that is going to move through fairly quickly. Neither of the storms today and tomorrow are going to really sit in San Antonio and continue to rain over and over again. And already by Sunday morning, most of the rain's gone. But we are tracking some nice rainfall accumulation. In San Antonio, we are expecting about 1 to 2 inches of rain, but some portions of South Central Texas can see that little bullseye of about 3 inches of rain or even more. And that's what we're watching for, that chance for the flooding. So here's what kind of to wrap everything up in a nice little bow. What we're watching is that possibility, at least in San Antonio tonight, for some street flooding. Winds can gust up to about 50 miles an hour for some. Hail threat is still there. It is lower on the end, but it's still possible for some. Not everyone is going to see that. And yes, still there is that tornado threat, but that is very on the low end, not necessarily for San Antonio. So as we go throughout the next few hours, you will want to have the KSAT Weather Authority app handy. We will continue to update you on the very latest forecast right through the palm of your hand. We will update on air and on social media. Most of the rain will arrive from about midnight tonight through about 7 or 8 a.m. Some might start to see the rain linger throughout the 8 to 9 a.m. hour, but really more rain on Saturday night, finally giving us a little bit of a break as we head into the week with some fall-like temperatures next week.
Really looking forward to it. Thank you,
Yes.
Shelby. Well, if lawmakers can't agree on a new spending plan soon, many families could lose some or even all of their SNAP and WIC benefits. The options you might have if you rely on these resources. Well, millions of Americans may soon lose access to food stamps in November if the government shutdown continues. CNN's Jen Sullivan has details on other resources that families may be able to use to fill the gap.
Millions of Americans are at risk of losing critical benefits that help them cover grocery expenses and formula for babies.
They don't get paid livable wages. And so their budget is the difference between them being able to pay their rent, being able to pay childcare, car insurance.
Gina Platanino is the acting director for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program known as SNAP at the Food Research and Action Center, an advocacy group. Roughly 42 million people rely on SNAP benefits to help pay for food. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says SNAP has about $6 billion in a contingency fund, but November SNAP benefits are expected to total $8 billion. The other federally funded program impacted is WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, which provides financial assistance to more than 6 million pregnant women, new moms, and children up to the age of 5.
The rising food costs are squeezing families. Formula is so expensive, and without having access to WIC benefits, folks are going to have to decide what to do in terms of feeding their baby and feeding their family.
Dr. Colleen Delaney with the nonprofit Vitamin Angel says they work with several WIC facilities. She says families who need help during this uncertain time can turn to local health departments, their pediatrician who may have formula samples they can give out, and food banks. But long lines are already forming at some food banks like this one in Iowa.
The charitable food system cannot fill this gap, no matter how hard we try.
With November around the corner, there's little sign this shutdown will end anytime soon. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Trade talks with Canada are cut off today because of a television ad. I'm Christiana Cordero in Washington with that story coming up.
Well, now to a safety alert. You might not want to get too close to these products or you might be burned. We're talking about curling irons, sauna blankets, and laminators all being recalled because they could be too hot to handle. Our Avery Muir has the details on this week's recall roundup.
Ladies, listen up. Around 350,000 curling irons are being recalled by Bioonic because the barrel could snap, posing a burn risk. So far, 6 injuries have been reported. These were sold in stores and online at Ulta, Sephora, Nordstrom, and other places. If you have one, you can contact the company to get a free replacement. More than 13,000 thermal laminators are being pulled because they can overheat. While no injuries have been reported, the CPSC says you should stop using it. These were sold at stores like Office Depot and School Specialty. You can contact the company to get your money back. Don't let this product put the stress in stress-free. Around 78,000 sauna blankets from Life Pro Fitness are being recalled because they might burn you. So far, 32 injuries have been reported. These were sold online through Amazon, Walmart, and Dick's Sporting Goods. You can contact the company to get a new one. To learn more about these and other recalls, head to our website, KSAT.com. Avery Mira, KSAT 12 News.
Still looking forward to the rain, but I think even more so past this weekend, the cooler temperatures.
I know a lot of people want either the rain because we've been so dry or the cooler temperatures considering it's fall, Halloween is next week. A lot of people want to be able to wear their costumes and not have to worry about the heat that they're going to feel inside of them. Now, I do have some good news. The rain has already started for some, especially near the coastal plains, and really throughout the next few hours for your afternoon forecast, we do expect the temperatures to continue to get near about 89 degrees for most of us, still having about a 20% chance of a few showers for most of us, as those showers do continue to increase after sun sets, as we also have that slight level 1 and that level 2 risk for some stronger storms. Now, this is the Storm Prediction Center. They issue a severe storm outlook, different than the Weather Prediction Center issuing that green and that yellow one. That's for that flash flood risk. I'll show that later on. But this is for tonight into tomorrow morning for that chance for some heavier storms to produce that threat for, we're talking the storms to even produce that hail, those wind gusts, and that possibility of some isolated flooding. Now, the rain is going to arrive tonight. Good news, it looks like it stays out, at least of San Antonio, until after Friday Night Lights and your Friday evening events. Some folks just to the west of San Antonio in the Hill Country might see it closer to 10 p.m., but it is going to continue until Saturday. But then we're also seeing more redevelopment Saturday evening. Now, we're talking about maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain being possible. Some areas might see some higher rainfall totals, but not everyone will. So we're talking about that chance for the heavier rainfall to produce some localized street flooding and even just localized flooding. Especially watch those low water crossings for throughout the next few days. Keep in mind, most of the rain tonight is going to fall at night. So it is going to be dark and you might not be able to see where the rain actually is on the waterways. I'll give you a look at your future cast of what you need to know. Plus take a look at the rainfall totals you could expect coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, President Donald Trump calling off trade talks with Canada, and it could have a big impact. ABC's Christiane Cordero reports that Canada is the U.S.'s second biggest trading partner.
With the flip of a switch, trade talks with Canada are cut off because of a TV ad President Trump saw and didn't like. The ad, paid for by the Canadian province of Ontario, is running in the U.S. and features excerpts of a speech by President Ronald Reagan from April 25, 1987, speaking out against tariffs.
But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer.
The president calls the ad fake. It's not fake. Reagan did make the 5-minute speech, and the audio in the ad matches its official White House transcript. However, the audio is edited in the 1-minute ad. Last night, the Reagan Presidential Library weighed in, writing the ad misrepresents the presidential address, and the government of Ontario did not get permission to use it, adding it's looking into potential legal action. And Trump last night posting all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. Canada's Prime Minister this morning.
We can't control the trade policy of the United States. We recognize that that policy has fundamentally changed from the policy in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s. And it's a situation where the United States has tariffs against every one of their trading partners to different degrees.
And this morning, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett said Trump and Carney plan to speak next week.
The Canadians have been very difficult to negotiate with.
The escalating tension comes ahead of tariff-related oral arguments scheduled for next month, when the Supreme Court is set to consider the legality of Trump's sweeping reciprocal tariffs and whether he had the authority to bypass Congress. If the court decides Trump did not have such authority, the justices will also consider if the tens of billions of dollars collected so far in tariffs needs to be returned. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Well, Target is planning to lay off around 1,000 corporate employees. So along with the layoffs, the company also announced it will not be filling 800 positions that are currently open. Together, it will impact about 8% of Target's global corporate workforce. It comes as Target has been dealing with slumping sales and backlash after it dialed back its DEI program earlier this year. The government shutdown is having an effect on home buyers. Chase Franklin had everything set for his move from North Dakota to Kansas, including a U.S. Department of Agriculture-backed mortgage to buy a home. However, that plan has come to a screeching halt.
Of course, the government shut down, and so my lender got back in touch with me, and she said, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to close until the USDA reopens. Recognize that the decisions that you are making are impacting far more people than you realize, and that the decisions that you're making are also affecting voters who will remember this when it comes around to election season.
And he's not alone. A senior economist with Realtor.com says home buyers all over the U.S. are feeling the impact of the shutdown, impacting both rural and urban areas. He also claims that the longer the shutdown stretches on, the greater impact it is going to have on the industry as a whole. And of course, San Antonio is going to be buzzing all weekend with lively events planned over the next couple of days. So a look at some of your options as you make your plans. And the San Antonio Zoo is showing off a new 2-acre habitat. We're taking you with us to get a sneak peek before it opens. Well, happening tomorrow, Endeavors is hosting 2 special Halloween events for families in San Antonio. This is from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. You can join the sensory-friendly trick-or-treat in the Health and Wellness Center's community room. This is designed to make Halloween fun and accessible for all children. Then from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. there will be a trunk-or-treat in the center's parking lot with games like pumpkin ring toss, a giant Jenga, cornhole, and a lot more. And if you're looking for some fun today, the San Antonio Police Officers Association is having its 3rd annual Trunk or Treat. This is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. today at the UTSA Park West Athletic Complex, featuring a costume contest, a trunk decorating contest, plenty of candy, and of course local vendors. So everyone is encouraged to come dressed in their best Halloween costumes. Well, the San Antonio Zoo expanding with a new massive 2-acre habitat called Congo Falls, which is set to open later this year and bringing with it 8 western lowland gorillas. So KSAT got a sneak peek. Check it out.
We are are standing inside May's Family Silverback Peak in Congo Falls habitat. We are actually where gorillas are going to be in not too long of a period of time. This is a 70-plus foot tower. It's exactly what you see when you're driving by on 281. The Congo Falls is a 2-acre habitat that will be home to 8 western lowland gorillas. We are going to have a bachelor troop of 4, and we're going to have a family group of 1 male silverback and 3 females. And as part of our conservation, we are going to have those gorillas as part of the Species Survival Plan, or the SSP. And we hope to have gorilla babies in short time period. And inside, you're going to have the opportunity to have 360-degree views of gorillas. You'll be able to see them from above in the trail system that we have. 1 trail up overhead for guests and 1 trail up overhead for gorillas. You'll also be able to see them at the ground level, but you're also going to be able to see them from our underground viewing. Gorillas are a critically endangered species, and we here at San Antonio Zoo are so excited to be able to have our conservation and our animal care specialists working to help preserve this species. We're really excited to be home to 8 western lowland gorillas.
Well, also at the top of the hour, we talked about 2 major weekend events, of course, Muertos Fest and the Paul McCartney concert. But there's so much more to do over the next couple of days. So right now on KSAT.com, we have your weekly roundup of things to do. So this time, the list includes a Lebanese food festival, family fishing day at Josky Pavilion, and the Seguin Pecan Fest, and even a Spurs game.
You had me at Lebanese food. The one thing that whatever you're planning on this weekend, you definitely will want to watch the weather. Maybe plan to go to Muertos Fest, but also on Sunday when it's going to be a better day, but also plan around the day, especially because tonight into tomorrow, we're watching that chance for some localized flooding, but also some heavy rainfall, some gusty winds. The storms arrive late tonight through about 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow. But then we have another chance for redevelopment tomorrow evening for 1 to 2 inches. A few areas could see more than 3 inches of rain, and that leads to a lot of issues, especially across South Central Texas, where we haven't received any rain over the last few months. I'll give you a futurecast of what you need to know for the weekend and how to plan your weekend events coming up after the break. It is finally getting closer to the weekend, and a lot of people are ready just for the weekend in general. Others are ready for the rain. Now, right now, we're still seeing about a 20% chance of rain throughout the next few hours, and that's because we're seeing most of these sea breeze showers and these coastal showers that we normally typically do see here in South Central Texas, but these are entirely different from those storms we're going to see tonight into tomorrow. But right now, seeing some showers stretching from just to the south of Yorktown all the way to Goliad, some along I-37, and even as you head into Victoria. But otherwise, most of those storms that we will see later today are still well to the north and well to the west of us. It's all because of that low pressure system still sitting in areas near Albuquerque, New Mexico, but the storms associated with it are near Fort Stockton, Marfa, even now approaching some areas near San Angelo, and they already have some severe thunderstorm warnings associated with it. Now here's a look at some of the rainfall totals you can expect. Not everyone is going to see that chance for the heavy rainfall. Some might only get about an inch or so, others might not get any. But we do want to still stress that you do want to keep up to date with the KSAT Weather Authority app, because some folks might see some rain, especially this weather forecast model is also specifically saying that for folks over San Antonio could even get a few inches of rain. We're talking the higher end of the 1 to 3 inches, which could cause an issue for that localized threat of flooding. So here's a look at that futurecast. Basically what you need to know. Most of the rain tonight to tomorrow morning should be overnight exactly, maybe a little bit to tomorrow morning. But as that low pressure system really moves through portions of North Texas and really just north of us, we're watching that chance for that those thunderstorms to move through portions of South Texas starting tonight about 10 p.m. Most of the football games and evening planes should be okay. I want to stress that. But as this line of those thunderstorms continue to push through, by about midnight to 2 a.m., some of the folks in San Antonio might get awoken because of the thunderstorms moving through. Now, it is going to move fairly quickly through. This is already at 6 a.m. for most of us. It's not going to sit and stay raining in one specific area, similar to what we saw back in July. This line of storms is going to be fairly progressive, meaning it is expected to move through relatively quickly. And even by 6 to even 9 a.m., it already starts to break apart, really moving offshore. Still a possibility of a few showers being possible till about 9 or 10 a.m. tomorrow. And then we get a little bit of a break till about 3 or 4. That's when if you have to do any outdoor activities, get them done by about 9 or 10 a.m. till about 3 or 4 p.m. That's that window of opportunity we're watching. But there's going to be so much instability and just moisture in the atmosphere that some of the showers could be possible to re-spark a few thunderstorms. And that's where we're watching that chance for some gustier winds and still that possibility of hail as we go into Saturday evening, I should say. Yes, there is still that possibility of some gustier winds tonight and even into that tomorrow morning for hail as well. But most of the storms Saturday have a greater threat for that. And most of the storms Saturday will mostly have an impact for folks near Houston or even near the coastal plains. Already gone by Sunday morning. By about 2 a.m., most of the storms should be gone and out of our neck of the woods. But it is still, you are still supposed to keep an eye on everything. We will continue to keep you posted on the latest forecast. Now, here's what we're expecting throughout the next few days, or the next few hours, I should say, in San Antonio. Temperatures will still expect to stay in the 80s. 89 degrees is expected to be the peak temperature. You do want to keep in mind that we do have a flood watch in effect for San Antonio, not a flood warning. A flood watch is we're watching that possibility of flooding being possible. A flood warning means flooding is actively happening. 70% chance of rain tonight into tomorrow, finally drying out Sunday and Monday before a cool front comes through Tuesday. 10% chance of rain on Tuesday, but really, Steph, the cooler temperatures finally arrive just in time for Halloween.
I love it. That's very nice.
You're welcome.
Good news. Yes, thank you, Shelby, for sure. Well, the Wounded Warrior Project's Carry Forward 5K happening tomorrow. After the break, the organization explains how it's a tribute to wounded veterans and their sacrifices. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, first of all, I mean, this is a very good 5K with a very good turnout. Actually, it's more people, right? How many people are y'all expecting this weekend?
We're expecting over 2,000 people from the San Antonio and Hill Country community to come out to support Wounded Warrior Project tomorrow.
That's a big number.
It is.
And then just to give people an idea, what kind of programs would all the fundraising go towards?
So everything that is raised at Carry Forward goes directly to support the programs and services at Wounded Warrior Project. We have a long list that goes from social, financial, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being. We try to meet warriors where they're at and the greatest challenges, so we're ever evolving to meet those needs. And so we raise this money for life-changing and life-saving programs.
All right, Angela, there's a QR code on viewer screens right now. So that brings us to the next question. If people don't get a chance to register today, are they able to register when they go out to the race tomorrow?
Yes, we would love to have everyone come, and we will be there rain or shine. So you can come out to Morgan Sports at 6:30 a.m. is when we open the site. We will begin the event at 8 a.m. So come register day of. You can use a QR code, or you can go to carryforward.woundedwarriorproject.org and register today. And if you can't come and you'd still like to make a donation, you can go to the same website to make a donation to Wounded Warrior Project.
I've been out to this event before, and you know, a lot of the times you'll see people carrying flags, weighted vests. Why do people do this?
When Wounded Warrior Project created Carry Forward, we wanted to make a statement. So at Wounded Warrior Project, we talk about our mission being to honor and empower wounded warriors. We want to Carry Forward to resemble that. So we ask people, we want people to run, jog, walk, whatever you want to do. But if you'd like that extra challenge, carry a flag. Carry a weighted vest or a weight to show the burden that our military carry when they come home. Or if you'd like to recreate the Wounded Warrior Project logo of one warrior carrying another warrior, you can carry someone on your back.
It definitely puts it in perspective.
It's a beautiful thing that when you see people doing it out there and puts everything in perspective.
It puts it in perspective. It shows what gratitude looks like, and it is a powerful event.
Well, Angela, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And of course, a family event, a lot of kiddos as well.
Yes, we have lots of kiddos, we have family, we have people of all variety of ability levels. We wanted this to be something that the entire community could come out and celebrate and recognize and just say thank you to the Warriors who've done so much for us.
All right, and just a reminder, we were being told that this is going to go on, even though there's a little rain out there, just go ahead and bring your rain jacket or like a baseball hat.
Yes.
And just go ahead and do the 5K regardless. The opening ceremonies, of course, will be at 8 a.m. at Morgan Sport. Again, Angela, thanks for joining us this morning.